No one can promise you a US visa. No one can promise you a Mexico visa because it is not up to them. It is up to you to have the appropriate documents before the embassies can grant you a visa. So if you don't have your documents in check and then you go and pay a huge amount to someone to try and get you a visa, it is never going to work. Hello guys, Flo here, and this is the Jollof and Wi-Fi Studios. If this is your first time watching our channel, please consider subscribing to our channel for us. Put us on post notifications so that you're notified whenever we upload a new video. Today we are talking about videos that have surfaced on X regarding Kailani Ibrahim, popularly known as the Powder Man. So for those of you who were able to watch the Ghana Black Stars during the World Cup, there was a particular individual who stood out from the stands. Yes, he was not a player, but he stood out from the stands. He's a man who would usually paint his face white, and he would be in a traditional Ghanaian attire, the fugu as we call it. And, one of his signature was him blowing powder, into the air. So apparently during the World Cup time, he engaged in some fraudulent activities. And as of a couple of days now, he has been facing the consequences of his actions. So this was posted by Sika Official on X. Kailani Ibrahim, popularly known as the Powder Man, who rose to global fame for his antics during the 2026 World Cup, has appeared before the Accra Circuit Court over an alleged visa fraud involving more than 13 people and over $30,000. So, as a lot of Ghanaians tend to do, they try to find means and ways to leave Ghana, to travel abroad. And I'm not sure how this man comes into play, because I actually don't know if he's a travel agent, if he has an agency, or people sought him out just because he was able to go watch Ghana Black Stars during the World Cup. But apparently he, encouraged people to send him money. He encouraged people to trust him, promising them that he would get them visas to travel outside Ghana. There is a video of a young man who was saying that he had sent him about $9,000 US.
Fresh note, you know me. I talk and say my wife they preg. Where I carry the money, give him. He said make I give him my car. The other car happy now. Make it take my car. He say if he take my car, he not go balance me. I go sell my car, fella. Can't give him physical cities. We can't have into dollars. Where I take give him. Make he give me my money. I tell issue. He said make I wait for Colombian transit visa. Foolish boy. You don't talk Colombian transit visa. I they take me go Bolivia. I pay 9,000. Take me go Bolivia. Your mother, 9,000 for Bolivia. $9,000 for Bolivia. Shege, mutu mbaza barao.
In order for him to help him travel outside. First question I have is, does this guy have any reputation that indicates that he has, been able to help people travel abroad? Does he have any records of that? Is he registered? Do you have any people that you can trust that can say, yes, indeed, this person has helped me, so he can also help you? And this question goes to those that paid him the money. This question goes to them. Did you do your research? Did you confirm that, yes, this guy can actually help us travel abroad? Secondly, why would you wake up, bring about $9,000 to someone for him to get you a visa? For visas, you have to apply it online, go to the embassies, do interviews, whatever it is that the government of that specific country requires. So people in Ghana, people in Africa in general, we assume that when you give, travel agents or whatever their names are, when you give them money, they are going to do these things for you. And they are going to secure you the visas. No one can promise you a US visa. No one can promise you a Mexico visa, because it is not up to them. It is up to you to have the appropriate documents before the embassies can grant you a visa. So if you don't have your documents in check, and then you go and pay a huge amount to someone to try and get you a visa, it is never going to work. It will never work. And even these days, you can do most of these things yourself. I get that maybe you don't want to go through the stress and, what should I do next? We have ChatGPT, you have Gemini, you have all sorts of AIs out there. You can put in what you need. How do I apply for a US visa? How do I apply for a Canadian visa from Ghana? It will give you the appropriate links, the government approved links, so that you don't even fall into a scam. And then you can go through the processes. When you reach somewhere you don't understand, you can take a screenshot, put it into ChatGPT. What do I do next? And it will give you the guidelines. So I don't get the fact that people are still paying money to people for them to get them visas. According to the guy, he gave him about $9,000. And my question to you is, if you can come up with $9,000, what are you going to do abroad? If you can come up with $9,000 urgently, when people text you like, oh, can you send me money urgently or ASAP, as soon as possible? That just vex me. If you can come up with $9,000, that means that you can come up with $10,000, you can come up with $20,000. Maybe you might take a little time, but you can do it. And this is an amount of money that you can invest and make profit. This is an amount of money that you can do business with. And when you have a business running, your business is thriving, getting a visa to travel abroad becomes easier. Because you can prove that you are a CEO, you can prove that you have something of quality, something that is valuable to you back in Ghana. But we take huge amounts of money. People spend about $20,000, $25,000, some people even up to $30,000 because they want to leave Ghana. While they could have invested that amount of money into something. The many people in Ghana that are rich, that are living, beautiful lives, they started small. But some of us have the money, we have the capital, but we still want to come to Europe, we want to go to America, we want to go to Australia, we want to go to Asia to go and work for someone and get paid get paid monthly. When you can stay in Ghana, and in Ghana there is always a daily flow of cash. $9,000. And then you give it to someone just like that. The guy says his wife is pregnant, and if your wife is pregnant, why are you trying to leave her? I know maybe you want to go to find better conditions, but there are sectors in Ghana that you can invest in and make money. When you come to abroad, let me tell you the reality. When you come to abroad and you have your documents in check, when you have your documents and everything sorted out, it is good. It is great. It is great. But when you come here, you don't have family members. You are now trying to find a job, trying to find documentation, and you are paying a rent of maybe 500 euros, 400 euros, 300 euros, when you don't have a job. How do you survive? How do you survive? When you can be in Ghana with that 9,000, you can invest it into something. So I personally don't understand this story and why people confided in this man and sent him money of about $30,000. $30,000. Hey, come on, Ghanaians, we need to start waking up. We need to start doing some of these things for ourselves. Even if you want to give it to a travel agency or whatever, find one that you can say, oh, they have an office here. They've done this before. They've sent this person here, so you can trust them. Ones that have good reputation. Don't go and give your money to anyone just because they said they can help you. Come on, it is high time we start doing some of these things for ourselves, some investigations, and then later you spend your money, and then it becomes a problem. I doubt this guy will get you your money back. I doubt it. You trusted him and you gave him your money, and when it comes to visas, he can't guarantee you a visa. He can do the process for you, but he can't guarantee you a visa because it is up to the embassy to give you the visa. So if the embassy says we are not giving it to you, the guy has done his part. You can't blame him. As I said, my name is Flo. If this is your first time watching our channel, please consider subscribing for us. Put us on post notification so that you're notified whenever we upload a new video. You can also follow us on X, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.